Hello. I've never made a YouTube video before, so I don't know really how this goes. So I'm going to tell a little story about how me and an old friend of mine separated and went our own ways. A past friend of mine tried to tell the story but put a lot of lies into it, and I want to tell the actual truth, even the truth on the stuff I lied about and the stuff that portrayed while it was happening. Me and these two people were friends for 2 years. Very good friends. And I never doubted them, never had any questions about them, never, ever. Well, come January of this year, I joined a TikTok family. Well, it wasn't even the middle of February that into that TikTok family, the creator, the main person in that family, added someone into the family that I didn't get along with, that also didn't like my two best friends. And before adding her, she called me, she talked to me. The creator did, was like, is it okay adding her? You're going to be cool with it? I said, listen, she ain't never done nothing to me. I don't have no problems with her. She has the problems with me. I said, but as long as she's not talking about them, she don't bring them up in the chat, she doesn't discuss it, I'm cool with her being in there. I don't have to talk to her. She can just talk to everyone else. I said, but there's little guidelines. I'm not going to vote for her to be like, it's called Stormtroopers of the Week. I'm not going to vote for her that. I'm not going to acknowledge she's in chat. If she does win the Stormtroopers of the Week, I'm not tagging her, because that's not fair to my best friends for me to give her clout and recognition when she was doing them wrong in my eyes at that time that she was. Well, that girl was in the chat for about 3 weeks or so, and little by little she started pushing things in the chat and start discussing things, and I would ignore it. No, I would just ignore it and not go into my two best friends and letting them know, like, hey, they're talking about you. I ignored it, which is my fault. That was some shady shit to my two old best friends. I should have told them. I should have. Well, then lives started happening. Lives after lives. And still at that time, I ignored it. I didn't go in, but I knew they were happening, and I didn't tell my two best friends they were on live talking about them. Finally, I saw them in a live, and they weren't discussing her. While I went in there, and they were talking, laughing, and carrying on, and I was carrying on. The minute they start discussing her, I wrote into the core chat, I gotta get out. I can't take this. I'm not going to be in there when y'all's bashing my two best friends. I'm not cool with it. Y'all can do whatever you want, but I'm not going to support that type of live. And I have the messages. I've sent them out. I had to go through my phone to find it back in March, but they're there. I did send it, and they were all cool with it, and they said they understood. Well, I was at work that day. I just went back to work. I didn't watch her live. I didn't acknowledge it. I just went to work. I guess they went live again while I was at work. I didn't see it. Well, they didn't go live the rest of the day. So the next day, I'm at work again. I join a live. They're in there like, drop hearts if you're in the Stormtroopers, which is the group that I was in. And I dropped red hearts, and they're just having a good old time. Well, people kept coming over and saying, which my two old best friends were Christina and Tommy. It was like, Christina's on Twitch talking about y'all. And I saw them comments, and I knew that they were going to start talking shit. Well, prior to that, I'm already being supportive and loving because we weren't talking about them at all. They started talking shit about them. So I left the live. I legit left the live. But when you leave a live, it still shows you in there for like 4 or 5 minutes after, and you can still see the person's previous comment if no one was commented after so many times. Well, then Christina's husband Tommy came in, and he saw that I was in there, and he told her that. Well, I wasn't in there. I could put my hand to God. I was not in there at that time. I just completely left. But I did fuck up because I didn't come to you guys and tell you that they were talking shit. I did fuck up on that. That was wrong of me. I should have came straight to you guys like, hey, I left the live. I couldn't do it, but they're talking shit. I should have came over to the Christina's Twitch and be like, hey, listen up. They're talking major shit. I'm not cool with it. I'm coming over here. You go deal with it. But I didn't. I dropped my phone, just got off my phone and went and done what I needed to do, which was fucked up and was some shady shit again on my end to two of my old best friends. While I'm doing what I'm doing, I can see the chat dropping in the group I'm in, and they're like, she's in here talking shit. She's talking shit about Bucky. She's talking shit about this person and that person. And I'm like, so I blocked her and Tommy's number, Christina's Tommy's number. So they couldn't text me because I didn't want to deal with it at that moment. I did. I blocked her number again, which is really fucked up of me to do that to my best friends. I fucked up again. So when they called me out about blocking her number, I said, no, I didn't. I didn't block your number. I don't know why it wasn't coming through. And I unblocked it while I was getting called out. so that way it looked like I didn't block it, but I really did. I'll own up to that. I did block it because I didn't want to be confronted at that time, and I wanted to talk about it on my own time, which was really fucking selfish and shady again of me to do. Well, then my two old best friends, Christina and Tommy, went live, and they were talking about the live and the shady shit and saying I was a snake and I was being shady and shit like that. So I just blocked them. I completely blocked all their TikToks on my main account. I didn't get over and block them on my backup. They blocked me on my backup. Again, I should have went in that live or confronted it and talked about it, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to confront what I did wrong. I wanted to be fucking shady and just block them. Again, I fucking messed up again on that point. Well, the reason why I thought Christina in the beginning, and I'm going to get into that, was being a snaky, horrible friend. I have a recording I want to play. It's because I was being told that shit. It was getting pounded into my head that Christina and Tommy weren't real friends. They were fucking using me. Getting told every day, multiple times a day, they're using you. They used you for money. Look how many waffles you joined. What have they done for you? You gave them a free phone. What have they gave you? And I'm like, not really nothing. Thinking about it, you know, they appreciated it. And I was like, yeah, they sent me thank you and texts and stuff. I was like, but they haven't really done much for me. But being a supportive friend, if that's what you're getting at, and they're like, nah, as a friend, they should be giving you free stuff. They should give you free merch. They should send you random cash apps. They should do more than what they're doing for you. And I'm like, huh? And they're just telling me this, and telling me this. And I believed it. I started believing the shit that they were telling me. AV was telling me this shit. That's who was telling me it, and I was believing her. I'm like, you know what? You're right. You're exactly right. They ain't no real friend. And that's when I started to turn. Because at that time, they're getting into my business. They're trying to talk me through stuff that's going on in my personal life. Christina and Tommy never did that. And I thought I wanted friends who were in my personal business, and I wanted friends to be there for me through it all. And I wanted like really close friends that wanted to know everything about me. While I learned I don't want that. Fuck no. Because the closer someone gets to you, the more ammo they have to use against you. And I figured out that the hard way. And in AV's YouTubes about me, majority of that is lies. Don't believe it. I could swear on to God that majority of that shit is lies. I just wanted to point that out there. To explain the story, I'm going to go back and forth. So y'all just going to have to keep up with me because I'm trying to get as much info as possible on how it happened. And I'll remember, and then I'll remember something else. And I want to get out there while I remember it. So please give me time. Well, then I did unblock Tommy's number and we talked. And in my mind, I'm already thinking, they're trying to manipulate you. They're narcissists. That's what I'm getting told in my ear by AV. All these horrible things. And she's on the phone telling me this stuff. As I'm telling her, they're texting me. And so I told Tommy, this ain't going nowhere. You're not listening to me. And I blocked his number. And that was the end of it. And I never spoke to them via phone or TikTok in their like lives or on their accounts again up till recently.
Truly all started out with, she basically says that you changed, blah, blah. That's how she felt from jump. That's how she felt from fucking jump. From the minute she messaged me about merch, you could tell it was weird. You know? And her inner feelings really came out. And that's how she truly did feel. Like she's like some kind of cult leader. Like, you can't have more than one friend.
Those aren't my words. Those are someone else. And the shit they were pounding in my ear to believe about my old best friends. So, again, I'm not going to sit here and say I wasn't in fault. But I was being manipulated and started believing the shit that this person was saying. Not only the reason I was believing them just to believe them, I got like amazed by they had so many followers. I thought they were a good, cool person by their following account. Well, I was fucking wrong. There's little things like that that was getting told to me and pounded into my ear. And as human, when there's not one, but two, but three multiple people telling you shit, it's not hard to believe it. Honestly, it's hard not to believe it when they're all telling you the same shit. And then the one person is supposedly supposed to be one of your best friends too. Like, I'm here for you. I'm going to do whatever you need me to do. You're a good guy. You're a good friend. I just don't want to see no one doing you wrong. But actually, she was just fucking doing anything she can to ruin any friendships or relationship I ever had. And I found that out in the long run. Because not did I lose them, I lost multiple other friends while being in your fucking cult. Your cult. Because you're a demented bitch. I just wanted to add that in there. And it came down to Okay, they're making a ton of videos about you. I made a ton of videos about her, laughing, mocking her, my old best friend, and making fun of her husband. I deleted all of them. I don't even have them saved in my phone anymore. But I was doing all that, getting the clout I was getting. I was eating it up. I was calling them out, talking shit on them on TikTok lives. And people were just eating it up, and I was eating it up. And it went on for about a month. And I eventually got tired of it because that's not who I am. So I swayed away from it all. I'm not that person to sit there and dread on drama for months and months and months and months. As you could tell by my current old best friend, AV, I haven't fed in her shit in days. Just not who I am. So as they're doing that, AV comes to me and is like, I want to tell stories. I want story times. And I'm going to do it on YouTube. But tell me your experience with her as a friend. And I'm telling her all the things like, yeah, I bought her I had a cell phone and I gave it to her son. And I don't know if he ever used it or if he had it. I couldn't clarify it. I didn't know. Sorry, I've had the flu. I gave her some of my house decorations. I spent a lot of money in her waffles. I was always in all her lives gifting her. I sent money through YouTube. I subscribed to all her pages. And AV's hearing all of that. And she's like, oh my God, she was using you. Terribly using you. Do you not see how much money you spent on her and little she did for you? Do you not see that? If you add all that up, that's like $500 you spent on her. Do you not see that, Bucky? I've not asked you for a dime, is what AV was saying. I've never asked you for a dime. I would never. And she started shouting me out on TikTok. She gave me free merch. And she's like, see all I'm doing for you and the little she ever did for you? I'm your real best friend, not her. I should have knew there, right then and there, that she was manipulative and trying to persuade me of shit that wasn't true. And then we started talking about when I had throat surgery. I'm sorry I've been coughing so much from this flu. So all this, that's why my last video was so short and my voice is losing. But she was asking about throat surgery. Was she there for you? And I'm reading through my text. I'm like, yeah, she was there for me. She told me she was going to start a GoFundMe, but she never got to it. I think she got busy. And she's like, oh my God, she never started the GoFund you for it? And I'm like, no, she didn't. And she's like, oh my God, she just forgot. And I'm like, yeah. I said, and then she said she would help pay for my medical bill when it came in. I was like, but I never sent it to her. And she's like, she never asked? I'm like, no. She's like, oh my God, what kind of friend is she? She basically said she was going to do all this for you and she didn't. So she basically said, fuck you about your medical condition. She didn't give a shit that you had surgery. But if she had surgery, you would have been the first one there. I know you would have, Bucky. That's what AV was telling me. She's like, do you finally realize she's not your friend? Do you finally realize you made a good choice and you just stopped being friends with her? She just wanted to control you and manipulate you. And that's why you were getting so much hate, because she was a horrible person. And then at the time, I'm like, you know what? You're fucking right. Let's tell my story. And I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to put in there she wanted to start a GoFundMe, but didn't do it because she was too busy. I lied. Then I said, I'm going to go in there and say she wanted to help pay for my medical bill and post it out there for people to help pay. She didn't. I lied. I'm going to say that I gave her a phone and I knew nothing about the other phone. I lied. And then I said I'm going to go in there and say she used me in all the waffles because she knew that I was just a single guy and had nothing else to do with my money, and she just wanted my money. I lied. So when I done that YouTube video, I was persuaded to go in there and tell a bunch of lies, and I did. The only thing I was truthful about on the YouTube video was a little bit about like the friends she had when I first joined, how many followers she had when I first became friends with her, that I used to sit in my car, and I did for about 2 or 3 weeks, and I would listen to her lives and she would cry, and I started connecting like, oh my God, I feel bad for this girl. So I started commenting and sending her gifts, and at this time I lived an hour away from home, so I would just sit there and listen and hear her story, hear Tommy's story, and I would really start to connect and want to talk to them, get to know them, and that's kind of how I started a friendship with them. I didn't lie about that. I did lie, and I want to clarify about the GoFundMe, about her going to help pay my medical bills. I lied about using me for waffles. I lied about the whole cell phone situation. Lied about all that. Why? Because I wanted to get closer to a person I thought was really my best friend, because I saw numbers. I saw, oh my God, at that time she had 500,000 followers. I'm like, she has a ton of followers. I just want to be her friend. And I really did get close to her and it stopped being about the numbers later on. But at first it was like, oh my God, I'm amazed by these numbers. But then you slowly get to know a person. There's a reason why she has that many numbers, because people are waiting for your downfall. That's what they're doing. They're sitting there laughing, waiting for your downfall. They're not your supporters. It was all dropped for a few months. We went to Tennessee as a group. They decided to drive by her house. I was already in a bad mood because of something prior that was happening at the house. That they said, you need to come with me. You'll like this. This will get you out of your headspace. Well, after I got in the car is when I found out what they were doing. So me being already pissed off, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. So we drove by DF's house. I threw a pop bottle out. We drove by some random house, and then we drove by Christina and Tommy's. I jailed whore. That's the only thing I ever did to Christina or Tommy. The throwing the stuff out and stuff was AV's daughter. It was not me. I didn't pretend. I didn't do nothing. I didn't even make videos or go live about that whole situation after. I guess AV did, but I didn't. I dropped it right then and there. Again, because there was shit going on that I already was in bad headspace about. My main thing about this video is to come out and tell what I did wrong and what led up to me doing wrong and the whole situation that caused it. I might have left some things out. If I did, and y'all have any questions, you can drop them in the comments and I'll write them out. I honestly, there's a lot that I can't remember unless you ask it, and then it comes into my head. I'm like, oh yeah, now I remember. So if you do have any questions, drop them down in the comments and I'll answer them. But I wholeheartedly do apologize to you, Christina and Tommy, for the shit that I did and the shit that I said, all the videos, the coming to your house, all the lives, the accusing y'all of stuff that y'all didn't do. I lied about majority of it, and I do apologize for that. I absolutely 100% apologize for that. No way should I condone them talking shit about you. I should have came straight to y'all, and I didn't. I don't know why I didn't. I can't really explain, but it was fucked up of me. It was shitty of me, and it was snaky of me, the shit that I had done. Y'all don't have to accept my apology. Y'all don't have to even comment back to this. You don't even have to acknowledge I even made this video. But I do want to get and clear the air of what actually happened and what the truth was. And the truth was, I lied. The truth was, I picked someone with more followers over my two best friends for clout reasons. And I wish I never did, because now I'm getting shit on and lied on, and I see it from the other side, and it doesn't feel good. It does not feel good to sit here and be lied on. Lied that you done things to your mother. Lied that you used to be an addict. Lied that your grandma made you an addict. Like all them lies, and I'm sitting here listening to that stuff, and it's affecting me so bad that I feel like I can't even sleep at night, and it's bothering me so much that I've deleted everything and left all groups. I know what it feels like now, and it doesn't feel good. It does not feel good. I don't know how someone could sit online and do the shit that this person is doing over and over and over, and just saying lie after lie after lie. I just don't know how someone could do that. But please, guys, and one thing I have learned, if anyone's watching this video, go to the source and ask questions before you assume shit. Go to the source. Do not, just because someone has more followings or just because someone seems cooler, just follow their lead and do shit that because you want to impress them. Because in the end, they're going to fuck you over, and you're going to be in a fucked up situation, and you're going to lose a lot of good friends, and that's what I have done. I've lost a shit ton of friends.